Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here today. And we are here in collaboration with the Mexican Consulate, and we have Estefania Segundo Crespo. She is from the Department of Protection and Legal Affairs. We also have Centro La Familia present here with us, and his name is Javier Vázquez Baez, and he's a program manager for Centro La Familia. We would like to start with our district presentation regarding immigration and safety. This presentation will be done in English since we have translation happening at the moment. This will also be recorded in multiple languages and will be uploaded to our our website under the immigration support services for Central Unified. So we're going to start by first introducing myself. My name is Dr. Marilyn Lopez, Assistant Superintendent of Student and Family Services for Central Unified. I would like to start by discussing some of our board policies that are very essential for us to all be aware of. One of our board policies and administrative regulations is 5145.13. It states, Central Unified School District is committed to the success of all students and believes that every school site should be a safe and welcoming place for all students and their families, irrespective of their citizenship or immigration status. District staff shall not solicit or collect information or documents regarding the citizenship or immigration status of the students or their family members or provide assistance with immigration enforcement at district schools except as may be required by state federal law. And this is again Board Policy 5145.13 and Administrative Regulation. We also have a section under that policy discussing addressing requests for records. Pursuant to Family Education Rights, Privacy Act 20, student information shall not be disclosed to immigration law enforcement authorities without parental consent, a court order, or judicial subpoena. School sites or district staff do not provide access to student records to any officer unless a police officer has a valid warrant verified by our district personnel. School sites or district staff do not provide access to student records to any officer unless a police officer has a valid warrant verified by our district personnel. That is very important for us to remember. Our school staff has been instructed to contact our Student Services Department should any warrant or any peace officer request information regarding our families or students. Parents are made aware of any release of information made through a warrant, and that is unless the warrant restricts that access or notification. Training has been provided to our registrars, office staff, family outreach liaisons, district personnel, and there has been education provided to all our teachers and staff throughout our whole district, including after-school programs, regarding what steps to follow to ensure the safety of our students and ensure the privacy of our students is kept confidential. Information is kept confidential. I will pause now to leave some information that I just discussed in Punjabi. So what can you do to support us in ensuring the safety of all information of your students as well as the safety of your students while on our campus? To help us maintain clear communication and support for your child, please take a moment to review and update your child's emergency contact information on ARIES. This is very critical as if any incident were to occur, we would like to be able to have access to anyone that is able to care for your child. Consider creating a family care plan designating trusted adults as authorized caregivers. Share important documents and daily routines with them. Our Student Services Department is available if you need any support with the care plan, and we have affidavits as well that you have access to. Communicate with our staff if you feel your child is in need of social emotional support. Our staff keeps information confidential in relation to immigration concerns and other delicate topics. Our priority is to ensure our students are safe and have their social emotional needs met. It is crucial that if you feel your student is in need of support, that you reach out to anyone in our schools. Our office staff is also here to help. So if you would like to have access without contacting your school, you can also contact our Student Services Department. Now, how can we assist you? We have several departments that are here for your support. We have the Student Services Department, as mentioned prior. We have our student mental health support for social emotional supports at schools. We have our family outreach liaisons. There is one accessible at every site. We have parent and family involvement coordinator, Nora Ceballos, at the T Community Resource Center. And these individuals you have access to. There's also a pamphlet that has been uploaded to our website that goes over all of that information and how those departments can support. At this moment, I will pause for a couple of minutes to give you a chance to enter any questions you may have regarding our district and the supports provided to ensure the safety of your student. If you have any questions or concerns regarding this topic, please enter your question on the chat box on Zoom. Please know that we will not be doing a question answer during this session. However, those questions that you are noting in the chat box will be responded to and uploaded to our website. Again, those questions and answers will be uploaded to our website. For those of you that are here present today, we will have a section at the end of this presentation to answer any questions that you may have. At this moment, we will now have Centro La Familia to provide some additional information regarding knowing your rights in our community.
Buenas noches a todos. Doctora, muchas gracias por tenernos aquí presentes en tiempos difíciles, en tiempos donde nuestra comunidad está siendo atacada, no solo aterrorizando nuestra comunidad, pero también nosotros como agencia tenemos la misión de poder salvaguardar los intereses de nuestra comunidad y asimismo pues brindar ese tipo de información de manera puntual y también pues de una fuente confiable. Entonces siguen contando con nosotros para poder dar este tipo de información a las familias. Las invitamos a que hagan sus preguntas. Los que están aquí, por favor, al final del día acérquense. Traten de preguntarlas de una manera general, cualquier tipo de información que nos compartan. No queremos violar sus derechos de privacidad, entonces los invitamos a que vengan a algunos de nuestros eventos que vamos a tener en las siguientes fechas, tanto con nuestros compañeros de aquí del consulado, en las jornadas sabatinas, como también en nuestros eventos con el Distrito Unificado de Fresno. Y en la ciudad de Mendota. Entonces vamos a compartir un poquito de información relacionada con eso. Buenas tardes. Oh, okay. Sorry. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Javier Vasquez Baez. I'm with Central Familia. I'm the program manager for our Immigration Services Unit. I'm glad to be here, knowing that our community is being under attack from the administration. So it's our duty as an agency to share resources and provide key information from trusted providers. We welcome any questions that you may have, but if you have a legal question, it's important that you either call the office or attend one of the events that we're going to be having throughout the Central Valley. Also with the partners with the Mexican consulate, we'll be sharing some information, but know that all the information that we provide and all the information that is given to you, it's accurate information and from a trusted service provider. So again, my name is Javier Vasquez with Centro La Familia. Um, the Immigration Services Program. Within our program, we have several team members that are doing this work right now. So we're happy to assist, any family or school that may need this information. So Centro La Familia began in 1972, so it's been about 53 years since we started. Um, it started as a small organization, a student organization that was providing services and assistance to families in the area, especially in the social services department here in Fresno. Um, One of the things that we noticed when the agency started is that the need for the community was greater. So it is how Centro La Familia started as a student project, and is now grown to be an organization with almost 100 staff members uh, uh, in different areas and departments. Um, we have 5 departments in Centro La Familia. One of our biggest department and known department is our Victim Services Department. Their focus is to serve victims of crime, and especially those who are going under some sort of crisis related to sexual assault, sexual abuse, um, amongst other things. They particularly focus on Fresno County residents. It is a program that has been around for almost 15, 16 years now. So again, their primary focus to assist victims of crime and to provide immediate assistance in terms of immediate help for families. We also have a department that focuses on helping families sign up for medical enrollment. If folks need food stamps, that department focuses directly on helping those families. Any enrollment they may need, health insurance, if folks need employment, unemployment applications to be completed with the state. That's a department that focuses on that. And all the services are provided in every site that we have. We have 4 here in Fresno, 1 in Kerman, and a satellite office in Mendota. We also have a department that focuses on family strengthening. They deal with parents. We have one of our biggest problems is here with Centro Unified, so they're the ones that work with parents and helping them keeping families together, especially when families are going through issues and before the kids goes to the state, we want to make sure that we keep the family strong and together. The other team is our policy and advocacy, and that's pretty much when we go out to the community, we go and advocate to the state, to local officials and the county to provide services and push for initiatives that are going to be helping our families. And the last one is the one I oversee, which is our Immigration Services Department. We've been around since 2014, and again, our goal is to provide services that are trustworthy and where families can get information and receive immediate assistance. So within our Immigration Services Department, we have 10 members that are partially accredited. And what I mean partially accredited is because they belong to an agency that has been recognized by the Department of Justice. Our recognition at Centro La Familia, we received it in 2014, and since then, we went from having just 2 members to 10. So this means just like attorneys, we can provide legal advice and pretty much represent folks before immigration. There's 2 types of accreditation. Our members have what we call partial, but we also can and will be applying for full accreditation. So that also means that we can represent people before immigration court. We currently have what we call a fellow who is working on becoming an attorney, getting the training that he needs. He's a recent law graduate, but he's going to be in the upcoming months taking some of the cases that we've seen lately, especially those who require some sort of bond hearing or they want to fight their case before court. Our services are not limited to Fresno County, so we pretty much cover the entire Central Valley. So anywhere from San Joaquin County all the way to Kern County. So that's about 8 to 10 counties that we serve. Our Victim Services Department only focuses on Fresno County residents, but our program focuses on pretty much anything. And since immigration law is federal law, we pretty much can represent anyone who has a case going. We have clients all over the U.S., but again, we try to limit our representation to the Central Valley, which is that's the community that we serve. And as a program, it is important that we have a focus, and that focus is to make sure that we provide accurate information and prevent immigration fraud. Immigration fraud here in the Valley, it's huge. So as an agency, we take pride on having trained staff that are able to deliver this information and that can provide accurate resources and represent folks before any immigration matter. Some of the services that we offer in our department are general consultations. So if anyone comes through our door and wants to know if they have some sort of immigration remedy available to them, that's one of our main services. So just like when we go to the doctor, if something's hurting, and we want to know what's wrong with us, it's the same. Immigration law applies to the same example. If you want to know if my son or daughter who's over the age of 21 can petition for me, or if I ever was petitioned by a mom or dad or grandparent, can I sue you? File for something, even though it was filed a long time ago. It's important that everyone gets a consultation because that's the way we know how the criminal laws apply to people, and also to know if they have something in the future, because the circumstances of folks change on a daily basis. One of our main services that we offer at Centro La Familia is the process of what we call naturalization. Naturalization is a process that we push in our community because it allows folks to become citizens. And as a citizen, again, that's your last resort from being protected from being deported. As a citizen, you will not be able to be deported, and immigration laws will not apply to you. So again, those that can become citizens come to our office, come to our events, because we want to know, we're going to give you that information to see if you're eligible to apply for citizenship. Another focus that we have is for our DACA population. As you may know, DACA is still being filed at the courts. The Fed Circuit ruled that DACA is unconstitutional, so we're waiting to see if the Supreme Court is going to be taking the case in the upcoming months. Again, we're letting the DACA recipients know that if your work permit is going to expire in the next year, that you should renew ASAP. Again, things are still very confusing with the current administration, but as of now, folks can still renew, and we let them know that please renew on time. Don't let your work permits expire, and again, don't get in trouble. We have had some issues where DACA recipients commit certain crimes. I'll talk a little bit more about what that means down the line, but it is important that under this administration, we keep in line and that we obey all the laws, because certain immigration benefits can have consequences if we commit certain crimes. We help. Oh, okay. We help folks also to renew their green card. Unfortunately, a lot of our Latino community, for some reason, they don't want to learn English, and they want to keep their MICA for a long time. So just know that at Centro, we help with green card renewals. If you receive Medi-Cal or food stamps, you might be able to do that for free at no charge. But if you make decent money, you probably have to pay a small fee. But fee waivers do exist, and you can file them without being charged. The next one is again, we assist victims of crime that are out of the county. So anyone from Madera, Tulare, Kings County, again, any county in the Central Valley, we assist folks. If you're a Fresno County resident and you are a victim of a crime, then we'll send you to our Victim Services Department. Again, we focus on out-of-county cases. And as every case requires, we help with translation of documents and prepare forms as required, depending on what the families are requesting. And then we're building a removal defense department. So as I mentioned, we have a fellow that's focusing on taking on removal defense cases. which eventually we want him to pass bar and become a licensed attorney so he can go to court and represent our people before EOIR. Um, I want to go back to naturalization. And the reason why is because I wanna provide some of the benefits of why it's important for you to become a citizen, especially right now. The main one being that once you become a citizen, you're gonna be able to vote, whether it's a local, state, or federal election. As I mentioned before, by becoming a citizen, immigration laws will not longer apply to you, and you're gonna be safe from being deported. Unless you commit fraud to become a citizen, then again, this president in the past has stated that they'll look into cases where fraud has existed when folks became a citizen. But again, it is still very safe to apply for citizenship, even if some folks have some sort of criminal background. That's why it's important that you have to come to one of the events and consult with us. As a naturalized citizen, you're going to be able to get a passport. For those are Mexican nationals, you will not lose your Mexican citizenship, so you will be able to do. You'll be able to have both your green passport and your blue passport. So again, you will not lose your Mexican citizenship. That is recognized. Again, as a U.S. citizen, you'll be able to apply for certain grants, certain funding that's only strictly to U.S. citizens and federal loans. As a U.S. citizen, you'll be able to work at any federal agency, like the post office, the forestry department, IRS. And again, by working with the federal government, certain benefits will apply to you as a U.S. citizen. And if you're into politics, you can always run for office. So as a citizen, you'll be able to do that. But one of the most important things as a U.S. citizen is that you'll be able to petition family members and be able to migrate them at a faster rate. Depending on who they are, if they're your children, spouse, or parents, they usually have a faster path. But if they're like your siblings or your children over the age of 21, it might be a slower process. But again, it's a way for you to petition. This one is around victims of crime, and the reason I mentioned victims of crime is because of what's going on right now. Unfortunately, in the Valley, we see a lot of that, especially with the Latino community, where folks are afraid of contacting law enforcement. So just know that law enforcement is there to protect our well-being. If you're a victim of a crime, it's important that you cooperate and that you reach out to law enforcement. Under SB 54 bill, the police has no right to ask you about your immigration status. And if they do, they'll be violating this piece of law. So it's important that if you encounter a situation like this, that you speak up and that you reach for help. Again, they have no business knowing about your immigration status, so it's important that you, again, if you encounter a situation where law enforcement is to question you about your immigration status, that's not the role. SB 54 prohibits them from enforcing immigration laws, and they cannot use any funding that's given to them to enforce immigration laws. Their job is to protect us. And again, if you're already a victim of a crime, reach out to an organization that can provide you with assistance on filing the U visa, VAWA. If you're a victim of trafficking, there's options for you through the T visa and other forms of humanitarian relief. And what's important, if you have a U visa already filed and you have a work permit, in case of house detention, carry your work permit with you. Anything that has been issued by the government, carry it with you, because again, we know now there's attacks on folks that have U visa that ICE officers will be using, antagonizing our families and telling them that you can always wait for your visa to be issued from foreign country. So that's one of the things that we want to pay attention to. But again, a lot of these programs or immigration programs do take time, so it's important that we're prepared, that we carry the correct information. Again, if you have a work permit, carry it with you. If you have a a what we call immigration receipt, carry it with you because that shows that you have some sort of process going with immigration. So in general terms, we tell families to maintain yourself informed. Um, Community members are eligible, can be eligible for some sort of immigration relief that's permanent, not just from applying for a U visa, but again, the circumstances of our families change. So it's important that you check with the legal service provider, whether it's an accredited representative like us at Centro or a trusted immigration attorney. And at Centro, we have a list of attorneys that are trusted in the community, and you can come to any of our NRCs to receive this information to be able to consult with a trusted attorney. So I'm moving into the whole issue around immigration fraud. So remember, in California and some parts of the US, only immigration attorneys and accredited reps are the ones that are legally eligible to provide you with immigration relief, immigration information. Unfortunately, we have bad actors here in the valley that utilize the word notario because a lot of our families that grew up in Latin America, a notario is an actual attorney that goes to an actual specialized school that focuses on legal matters. In Mexico, the word notario carries big weight, but unfortunately here, a notario can become, a public notary can become a notary just in a weekend. Their only job is to certify documents, but not complete or give legal advice. And that's the same for form preparers. Even though they're bonded by the state, they can't provide legal advice. So a lot of the times our families get in trouble because these actors file the wrong forms, and a lot of the times they end up in removal proceedings. So it's important that we catch that. And the last one is that we do have a law school here in the Central Valley. So also law students can provide legal advice under supervision of their teacher. In this case, their practicing attorney who's licensed in California. So they can help with some of this work as they do. So don't know your rights. I like to show this map, especially because a lot of us only think about the border being south of the border. So the border is pretty much the entire US. So again, we'd like to show a visual to let them know that it's not just the southern border, but we have Canada. And again, some of the some of the airports that can be considered borders as well. So we need to know your rights. So if ICE comes to your house, it's important to know that you must maintain your silence and that you don't answer any questions. This is very important for our families to practice because a lot of our kids are accustomed to open the door. If someone knocks on them, they go there and check. So it's important that we teach our children not to open the door, but to always ask. And lately I've been telling people, if you can afford to buy one of those Ring cameras and put the application on your phone, do that. It's a good investment, and you'll know who's coming to your house. It's a good form of protection because it also records in case ICE comes to your door and there's an altercation. You'll be able to record that. But again, if ICE comes to your house, they need probable cause to come in. They need a warrant to come into your door. So again, have them show you that warrant, have them sign it underneath your door, and check that. So if the warrant's not signed by a district judge for them to allow them to come to the door, 99% of the time they bring what they call a deportation order signed by by their boss that is not an immigration judge. So again, 99% of the time they don't have a warrant. So they just sometimes use papers or they escalate the situation, and our families get scared. So again, it's one of those things where our families need to be calm and learn how to exercise their rights. If a family is detained, again, just remember that you have the right to contact an attorney. And if you're a Mexican national, you have the right to contact your consulate. Some of the consulates are very active across the US, but here locally, if you're detained, know that you have access to contact your consulate. So the consulate can coordinate with your family in trying to get an attorney, or if the consulate can help you get access to an attorney, they're there to do so. Again, this only applies to Mexican nationals, just because if you have a consulate here, and they'll be speaking more about that. But again, it is important that we have these conversations with the family members, that we have a plan put together. La doctora mentioned about, having these conversations and creating that plan. You know, within our community, within our families, we have mixed status families, so know who, if you have citizens that are U.S. citizens or legal permanent residents, talk to them, have them take care of your children in case, you get detained. We have family preparedness plans with our colleagues here at Centro. So again, you will go to any of our NRCs, you can get these planes familiares or preparedness plans and the affidavits to be able to have them ready. All this information includes what information each kid has, and if they have any medical condition, if they have at the list of what documents you can have ready. Usually we tell kids and families, have that plan where you're gonna leave these documents at your house, and if you can, scan these documents, again, just because sometimes it's hard to access these documents if you don't know where these documents are placed. Regarding the red cards, so again, I like to remind folks that anyone in the US, whether documented or undocumented, they have rights. So primarily the fourth and fifth of the Constitution protects us from illegal search and also from the right to remain silent. So we don't want to incriminate ourselves. So it's important that we use the red card. It's important that we have some of these red cards in our vehicles, at our house, and also we carry them in our wallet, because we don't know when an immigration raid may happen. We don't know if we're going to be encountered, but show this card, we exercising our rights, but not just to have it, but it's important that you learn how to use this card. Again, these cards are reminding not for you to open the door, that you don't answer any questions, that you don't say anything. And if you're being harassed by a ICE officer, that you give this card to the officer and you maintain calm, you remain civil, and that you don't answer any questions. And again, this card tells you that then you don't wish to speak or answer any questions. You don't give them permission to enter your premises or your house, whether it's your car, your house. Also, if you're working, they should be talking to your employer about what some of these actions that employers have can affect you. But again, you have constitutional rights and you should learn how to exercise them. Remember to carry these cards with you, put them around your house, your vehicle, and also in your wallet. If you have family members, give them to them. We have distributed over 17,000 red cards in the past month, so we'll continue to distribute them among our NRCs of these presentations. Practice your rights with your family members. One thing we noticed is that a lot of people were selling these cards. These cards are free for people. Please don't purchase them. These are free. Come to any of the agencies that are legal service providers. A lot of the districts are providing them right now. So again, don't purchase them. I've heard that people are paying up to like $12 for these cards. Again, these cards are free. if you're undocumented, please don't carry false documents. I know some of our families, when are looking for a job, there's a tendency of buying documents. So please use them where you need to use them for, and then just dispose of them. Don't carry them with you because that's just going to incriminate you. Another thing that we're telling folks is that if you have your matricula, if you're a Mexican national, if you're a Salvadoreño, you're carrying your DUI, that shows that you belong to a certain country. And if an immigration officer searches you and they see that you're carrying a matricula, passport, a DUI, that's going to prompt to give them probable cause that you're not a citizen of the US. So again, the less information you carry, the better. So there's two ways that ICE operates, especially with the recent detention in the Central Valley. So ICE has a list of people who are already in process to be deported. However, unfortunately, when they go for one, they might take our family. We call them collateral arrest. So again, folks that are already on the list, they're targeted arrest. But again, some of these collateral arrests happen when they go to their house. Sometimes officers follow them to their work site. So that's how they're pretty much getting our people through collateral arrest and through actual people that have already formal deportation orders. In terms of a warrant, I'd like to show a visual because a judicial warrant is going to come from a district judge, signed, and it's only for them to access a home or a private entity, like your vehicle, your house, or in this case, a job site. An administrative deportation order, it's different. And again, as I mentioned earlier, 99% of the time, they only carry a deportation order. So they'll use force to start intimidating our families. And unfortunately, our families, when they see a paper, they get panicked and they open the door and they let officers in, and that's when they start questioning. So again, it's important that you learn to distinguish what a judicial order is. And usually, a judicial order is going to have the United States court title on top, unlike the ICE order, which is going to say administrator deportation order. So it's key that we learn that, and then we have some samples that we can give out. That way, people can take them home and have them there. So how does an arrest, ICE arrest work? So again, ICE orders are again signed by a judge if they're gonna enter your house. These orders do not allow ICE to come into your house if they're not signed by them. And then that they must have probable cause for them to enter your house. This is something you see in the community, but again, if someone is in the deportation proceedings, only ICE agents are the ones that can pretty much put someone in deportation proceedings. Um, our families having the target of folks that are dressing up as ICE officers impersonating, so just know that that is a crime, impersonating as a federal, state, or police officer. Again, police, local police, sheriffs, uh, the California Highway Patrol cannot enforce immigration law. So again, just be aware that that's something that's happening in the valley. So I'll talk about a little bit of what's going on at the federal, with the federal government in terms of some of the executive actions that President Trump has put together. The first one is the change of interpretation of the 14th Amendment, saying that even if you were born in the U.S., you're not automatically a citizen. If you have undocumented parents or the status of your parents, it's unknown. So that has been stopped by several courts in the U.S. So just know that that's something that's going to be litigated. It's going to be at least 3-4 years until we hear, but it will probably get to the Supreme Court. We'll know how things are, but that's one of the most controversial executive orders that he signed. He declared national emergency to be able to move resources from the military or the armed forces to go to the border and stop some of my migrants that are coming to the U.S. He's working on bringing back what we call the Remain in Mexico policy, meaning that asylum seekers will have to wait several months in Mexico before they can come and claim asylum here in the U.S. through an appointment system. He eliminated what we consider CBP-1, so folks will be able to request an appointment through the CBP and make their case. That has been eliminated as well. Again, he has assigned armed forces, military groups, and key border points to again stop some of my migrant families. And the main one that he eliminated that began under the Obama administration is what we call the sensitive areas executive order, which was again to protect our families, school sites, areas of worship, social service agencies, and some of the areas where our families will gather. So these QR codes are for you to be able to use them. So for our folks that are behind your computer, if you take a screenshot and follow those links, the first QR code is going to send you to a list of organizations here in the Central Valley that provide immigration services and provide basic resources for immigrant families. This list was put together by our players from Civic. The next one is a list of the upcoming events that are going to be having attorneys, elected representatives, and also they're going to be providing member rights presentation, red cards, and family preparedness plans. And the last one is just a general folder. It's a Google folder that provides information about school safety, what to do in case of immigration raids. So again, these are just general information for our families. The last one is a picture of our upcoming events that we're going to be participating. So again, if you want an immigration consultation with an attorney or one of our accredited reps, if you're a victim of a crime, if you are a DACA recipient and wants to renew the DACA, you want to see if you apply, you're able to apply for citizenship, you can come to one of the events. We're going to be participating with the consulate on the 22nd. We're going to be in Mendota tomorrow, and on the 27th, we're also going to be at Vernon Elementary School providing these services.
Thank you so much, Javier, for a great presentation. We will pause now just in case those individuals on Zoom have any questions. This is your time to type any questions for Centro La Familia or for our district, Central Unified. So I will provide you with about a minute to enter any questions you may have via Zoom. While that's happening, I do have a question that came in, so I will disclose our response. I do want to start by telling our families the safest place for your kiddos is at our schools. I want to reiterate that. The safest place for your students is at our schools. And let me explain why. We have a department called Student and Family Services. If anything were to happen and anyone comes looking for your student and knocks on our doors, we have to ensure we follow law. We have to ensure we follow board policies. We have to ensure that their information is anonymous, that it's not provided to anyone, it's confidential. And your kids have those rights, and we have a department that focuses on ensuring that their rights are protected. Okay? There is, as you know, based on the board policy, if there is a warrant or a subpoena, we have people specialized that understand how to read those subpoenas, know how to read the warrants. So please know the safest place for your students is in our schools. I want you to think about that. If you're at home, somebody knocks on your door, do you have somebody that knows those rights and that understands how to protect your child? So we provide that at our schools, okay? So the question that came in was, has the district or schools encountered any incidents with DHS or ICE? And the answer is no. We have not experienced any issues, and we collaborate with our agencies, and that we know of, that is our schools, our areas that they are not thinking of coming into, because at the end of the day, they want to ensure that our schools feel safe for our kids. Again, we can't control if that were to happen, but what we can control is to ensure that we uphold the law and that we uphold our board policies, and that is ensuring the safety of your student, okay? Our next question that came in, I think is more directed at Centro La Familia, and it states, what do you do if ICE says you fit the description of a person we are looking for as a way to engage in a conversation with you? So again, the question is, what do you do if ICE says you fit the description of a person we are looking for as a way to engage in a conversation with you? What would that be?
Yeah, so the first thing, again, and thank you for the question, that's an excellent question, and that's part of like kind of like a racial profiling situation, but it's important that our families remain calm if you encounter situations, so remain calm, think about your rights. So the first thing you would tell the officer is, I want to remain silent, and I don't want to answer any questions. If things escalate, depending on the situation, but if you're, most of the time it happens when folks are, driving. Again, ICE doesn't have the authority to stop you if you're driving. Only police officers, if you commit a traffic violation, sheriffs, highway patrol. But let's say they stop you. Again, it's important that you exercise your rights, maintain calm, and that you remain silent. But what's important here is that you don't have to lower your entire window. You can always show the car and, give them that, or show your license if you have to, but you don't have to get to the point where.
Can I ask you a
Yeah.
clarifying question? So if they're asking them, you fit the description or you look like somebody we're looking for, they're not showing you any paperwork, they're not showing you a subpoena, so you don't have to answer anything, correct, according to the red card?
Correct. Mhm.
Yeah.
So, again, if the situation escalates, ask them for a warrant. Again, if they cannot enter the vehicle, but they may use intimidation tactics, try to break your windows. It's important that, again, you remain silent. You don't have to answer any questions. That's your base form of defense. They may question you, they might arrest you, but again, the moment you provide information, that's where they'll try to use it against you.
Thank you. So we are now going to transition. Do you guys, ¿hay alguien o alguna persona que necesita traducción? Can't. No podemos preguntar ahorita porque estamos en video. We can't answer any questions from the public because we're on video and we don't want to identify anyone that's here present. But what we'll do is the last 30 minutes of the meeting, we will have a Q&A for the people that are here with us today. Vamos a tener preguntas y respuestas al fin de esta información para que así ustedes nos salgan en cámara. So now we are going to transition to our Mexican consulate. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Gracias por estar aquí. For those of you on Zoom, we are translating this information. However, this information is only for our Mexican immigrants. So at this point, this information will only be in Spanish. It is only related to the Mexican consulate. So thank you again, Estefania Segundo Crespo, and she works under the Department for Protection and Legal Affairs. Welcome and thank you for being here this evening.
Perfecto, muchas gracias por la invitación. Este espacio es muy importante para poder transmitir esta información tan importante a la comunidad. Me da mucho gusto poder compartir esta tarde con ustedes y bueno, creo que voy a tomar un momento y me gustaría entrar en materia primero explicando un poco qué es el consulado, ¿no? En su sistema más integral. Y comentarles que la función del consulado se basa en tres, o en lo que conocemos como el trípode consular, que son estas tres áreas que lo conforman: la parte de documentación, la de protección y la de comunidades. Este trípode, su función principal es ofrecer servicios de documentación consular, pero también proteger los intereses y los derechos de la comunidad mexicana que reside en el exterior y además empoderar a la comunidad mexicana. Creo que en este punto es muy importante definir qué sí puede hacer el consulado y qué no puede hacer el consulado. Entonces, para esto es una lista muy sencilla, obviamente podemos siempre ver caso por caso, pero ¿qué sí podemos hacer? Podemos brindar asistencia consular y proteger sus intereses, sus derechos, asesorarlos y aconsejarlos en lo relativo a su interacción y relación con las autoridades. También podemos informarles sobre sus derechos, pero también sobre sus obligaciones como personas que residen en otro país tan distinto a México. Asimismo, podemos proporcionar orientación y facilitar muchas veces los datos de algunos abogados que pudieran darles asesoría o representarlos dado el caso. Podemos visitarlos si se encuentran en un centro de detención o en un lugar arrestados, incluso hospitalizados, para conocer sus necesidades y ver qué tipo de asistencia requieren. Asimismo, podemos brindar acompañamiento e identificar los medios para que accedan ustedes a programas y representación legal, orientación o incluso conectarlos con organizaciones que ven temas distintos. Hay también oportunidad de proporcionar información sobre temas médicos y de hospital, sobre todo considerando que es un sistema muy distinto al que conocemos en México. También podemos, por supuesto, expedir pasaporte en caso de extravío o robo. Y en caso de detenciones, el consulado vigila que las autoridades locales respeten los derechos, que respeten sus derechos, proporcionar información también sobre ayuda legal en caso de que estén en una situación donde no entiendan su proceso. Y también podemos informar a sus familiares, y esto va a ser muy importante tenerlo en mente, porque nosotros muchas veces podemos conectarlos con sus familias, ya sea si los detuvieron o detuvieron a un familiar. ¿Ok? Y también es importante que ubiquen qué no podemos hacer. Lo que no podemos hacer es lograr la liberación de una persona detenida por algún delito o infracción. Ni tampoco podemos hacer que las autoridades le den un trato preferente. No podemos responsabilizarnos por el pago de multas ni deudas que hayan generado en cuentas de hoteles, restaurantes personales o costos de pasajes aéreos. No podemos responsabilizarnos por el pago de medicinas o servicios médicos hospitalarios. No podemos nosotros directamente regularizar su situación migratoria, porque esa es una facultad específica de las autoridades estadounidenses. Tampoco podemos solicitar el ingreso de personas mexicanas en contra de la disposición de la autoridad que corresponde. Tampoco podemos conseguir trabajo o actuar como aval. No podemos conseguir alojamiento o reservar hoteles por ustedes, ayudarlos a obtener, cambiar o reponer boletos de avión y cubrir costo de algún proceso legal más allá de algún programa específico. Para eso me gustaría nada más aclararles que el consulado, aunque estamos en Fresno, vemos 8 condados. Estamos cubriendo casi todo el Valle Central, desde Merced hasta Kern y hacia los lados, hacia Kings e Inyo. Este trípode consular que yo les comentaba, es importante que ubiquen qué tipo de temas ve cada área. El área y donde actualmente me encuentro es el área de protección y nosotros damos atención y seguimiento caso por caso. Cuando una persona mexicana está enfrentando alguna situación o pudiera enfrentarla. Y también vemos la parte de las acciones preventivas. Esto quiere decir que ayudamos a la comunidad a entender esos derechos, a conocerlos y a ejercerlos. Y también a saber a qué instancias acudir cuando no se están cumpliendo esos derechos. Por otro lado está el Departamento de Comunidades. Este departamento tiene actualmente 5 ventanillas disponibles y solo para que lo sepan, que quede en el entendido general, estos ven temas de salud, tenemos una ventanilla de salud, tenemos la ventanilla de educación, la ventanilla de asesoría financiera, la ventanilla de educación cívica y la ventanilla de atención integral a nuestros pueblos originarios e indígenas en el exterior. Esto porque sabemos que una de las barreras más importantes que puede enfrentar nuestra comunidad es comunicarse cuando, sobre todo, no hablan ni siquiera español, que sea únicamente quizá una lengua indígena. Y finalmente el Departamento de Documentación, que la mayoría es el que conoce, donde se expiden pasaportes, matrículas, credenciales para votar, actas de nacimiento, y también es el departamento donde se puede ver lo de la doble nacionalidad, donde vemos otro tipo de documentos como los poderes notariales para que sean válidos en México, entre otros servicios. Como les comentaba, y eso lo voy a pasar un poco más rápido porque es una pregunta que generalmente nos hace la comunidad, es el tema de las citas en el consulado. Las citas son para temas de documentación, para la generación de sus identificaciones. Las citas se hacen a través de un call center o un centro que les da cita para toda la red consular, los 53 consulados que tenemos en Estados Unidos. Para Fresno, las citas se liberan regularmente los días miércoles a mediodía. Entonces, es el número que viene abajo, ustedes pueden llamar o bien pueden enviar un mensaje de WhatsApp con la palabra cita y les va dando instrucciones para poder agendar su cita. Aquí un pequeño consejo y sugerencia, las citas son gratuitas. El agendarles la cita no debe de generarles un costo. Hemos detectado que hay gente que siempre pues trata de aprovecharse de una situación de necesidad. No procuren no utilizar estos servicios porque las citas son gratuitas. También quiero que sepan, sobre todo platicando con Marilyn, sé que hay una comunidad muy importante que trabaja en los campos, son comunidad que trabaja en el campo, está haciendo cosas regularmente de lunes a viernes. Entonces quiero que sepan que existen citas, se trabajan 2 sábados al mes para aquellos que no puedan acudir entre semana y estas citas, a diferencia de la información anterior, salen los días martes en vez de los miércoles. Entonces, la semana que vaya a haber citas en sábado, ese martes hay que llamar para generar su cita. Asimismo, el consulado ha hecho un esfuerzo para atender a la comunidad más vulnerable, que este incluye los adultos mayores de 60 años, no requieren cita, solo deben de llegar temprano a las instalaciones, las personas con alguna discapacidad o temas de movilidad, mujeres embarazadas en estado avanzado, comunidad LGBT que requiere algún tipo de atención particular o no se sienta cómoda con alguna situación específica y las personas indígenas que sean monolingües. Esto quiere decir que requieran de algún tipo de traducción para comunicarse con el personal consular. Asimismo, uno de los servicios que más estamos promoviendo, sobre todo en estos momentos, es la doble nacionalidad. El hecho de que toda persona nacida de padres mexicanos, de padre o madre mexicana, tiene derecho a obtener la nacionalidad mexicana. Este derecho es algo que sí promovemos porque les da beneficios como ciudadanos mexicanos sin quitarles los beneficios de ser ciudadanos americanos. Entonces, es un trámite rápido, sencillo y es gratuito. Simplemente hay que cubrir los requisitos. Aquí hay algunos de ellos. Básicamente son las actas de nacimiento de las personas que van a ser registradas, actas de nacimiento de los padres, no importa si alguno de los padres es o no sea mexicano, y las identificaciones también de las personas que van a ser registradas y de los padres. Actualmente estamos implementando una nueva forma de captar estos documentos. Antes se hacía por correo electrónico. Estamos tratando de facilitarle a la comunidad este contacto con nosotros y se habilitó un número de WhatsApp para que puedan enviar sus documentos, y también se está implementando, apenas estamos comenzando con revisiones presenciales. Los días viernes de 2:30 a 4 de la tarde pueden llevar sus documentos, platicar con el personal consular y les dicen exactamente si califican, si no, qué les falta, y a partir de eso, ya que tengan aprobado su documentación, pueden entonces generar su cita a través del WhatsApp. Hay otro servicio que es poco conocido, pero que en estos tiempos de incertidumbre respecto a las políticas migratorias y posibles repatriaciones a México, este es el menaje de casa. Este menaje resulta de los esfuerzos del gobierno mexicano por facilitar la llegada a México. Entonces, si una persona lleva más de 6 meses fuera de México, hay una facilidad para que la ley aduanera les dé el beneficio de certificar la lista de sus pertenencias, de cosas que regularmente tenemos en casa, más allá de quizá las maletas de ropa y cosas muy pequeñas, para que puedan llevarlo a México y no les cobren impuestos. Esto es para las familias que deseen retornar o en caso de que una familia pues sea retornada a México. Para esto no se requiere cita y los requisitos exactos están en nuestra página. Yo los invito a curiosear en la página, hay varias cosas interesantes para la comunidad. Y bueno, creo que entrando un poco más en materia de la parte migratoria, está el Departamento de Protección, que es donde trabajamos para orientar a la comunidad en varios temas, no solo migratorio. La verdad es que vemos ámbitos bastante variados, desde la parte migratoria, laboral, civil, administrativa e incluso penal en algunos casos, que vemos desde violaciones en el trabajo, como de sus derechos laborales, salarios no pagados, despidos injustificados, hasta cuestiones como los diagnósticos migratorios, o bien hasta cuestiones como temas familiares de que falleció un ser querido y no sabemos qué hacer, no conocemos el sistema, lo queremos enviar a México. Nosotros con gusto estamos para orientarlos. Para hablar con nosotros no se requiere cita. Si ustedes en algún momento están pasando alguna situación complicada o difícil y no saben dónde acudir, con quién conectarse, el consulado es un espacio seguro para que ustedes se acerquen y puedan entonces recibir esa orientación y puedan tomar la mejor decisión para tratar de resolver su caso. Entre otras cosas que vemos que es importante mencionar son temas de violencia doméstica y temas también de trata de personas. Ahora, enfocándonos un poquito a esta oportunidad del foro y en línea con lo que nos contaba Centro La Familia, es muy importante hacerles saber que parte de nuestras tareas, como les comentaba, es promover la parte del diagnóstico migratorio. ¿A qué nos referimos con diagnóstico? Es muchas veces a las personas no saben que califican algún tipo de alivio, que quizá han estado posponiendo una situación de ver a un abogado, un agente acreditado, o resulta que la vecina les dijo, no, pues es que yo sí pude, deberías de hacer lo mismo, es que hay mucha información alrededor y la verdad es que no siempre es ni real ni útil para cada caso. Entonces nosotros lo que estamos haciendo desde el consulado es facilitarles y acercarles los servicios de diagnóstico migratorio con abogados expertos en ese tema y también con organizaciones aliadas como Centro La Familia. Ya les comentó que tenemos un taller próximamente. ¿Qué estamos haciendo? Tenemos nuestros lunes de migración, que es el primer lunes de cada mes. Tenemos el taller migratorio que sucede en sábado una vez al mes. Hay asesorías legales ahí en el consulado y también cuando el consulado sobre ruedas va a visitar distintas ciudades en los 8 condados. Esas visitas se van programando ahora sí que casi cada semana y los vamos anunciando en redes sociales. Y también tenemos un programa de asesorías legales. Ese programa no tiene ahora sí que un día fijo. Ustedes pueden ir a platicar con nosotros, valoramos su situación y los acercamos a una consulta migratoria en caso de ameritarlo. Eh, Antes de pasar a la parte de la prevención del fraude, creo que me gustaría retomar un poquito la información que había dado Javier para un par de cosas importantes. Ahorita ya aprendieron con Centro de la Familia lo de los derechos, qué derechos tienen. Es muy importante y voy a quizá repetir un poquito, pero hablar en familia sobre el plan de emergencia, de qué hacer en caso de una detención, de una situación en donde nos tengamos algún tipo de interacción, incluso con agentes de inmigración. Y creo que en especial para nuestra comunidad, y lo platicaba con Marilyn, es que sí, efectivamente tenemos el derecho a permanecer en silencio, pero hay que ejercerlo. ¿Qué pasa? Que somos muy sociables. Los mexicanos nos gusta platicar. Entonces, es importante que ejerzan ese derecho y mantengan el silencio cuando deciden hacerlo. Como había mencionado Javier, uno tiene que mencionar que está haciendo uso de ese derecho para que la autoridad lo sepa o presentar su tarjetita roja para que entonces entiendan que su silencio es parte del ejercicio de sus derechos. También esta parte de los diagnósticos migratorios, les quiero decir que así como les decimos que sepan guardar silencio cuando hay una situación que lo amerite, cuando se trate de hablar con abogados o con representantes acreditados o con el consulado, las tres partes somos totalmente confidenciales. Su información está segura y necesitamos conocer toda la información que nos permita tener la película completa de su situación. ¿Por qué? Porque muchas veces hablan con el abogado, le cuentan solo de 10 años para acá y resulta que había quizá en el récord algún arresto hace 30 años. Y uno pensó que no era importante. Resulta que sí es importante, sobre todo si se siguen endureciendo las políticas migratorias, probablemente ese tipo de situaciones pueda generar después un problema. Entonces, yo los invito a que cuando tengan sus consultas sean totalmente abiertos y honestos, no asuman que no importa su información, sí importa y es mejor que el abogado diga, eso no pasa nada, a que después diga, me hubieras dicho que había esta situación. Finalmente, lo de las tarjetas rojas, reiterando la información de Javier, estas son gratuitas, en el consulado tenemos, si alguien gusta, de hecho aquí tenemos algunas para las personas que están presentes y estas también, antes de guardarlas en la cartera, léanlas, sepan qué contiene su tarjetita, viene en inglés y en español. En inglés es para los agentes, en español es para la comunidad, pero necesitan leerla antes de guardarla. Siguiendo con esta línea, está el tema de la prevención del fraude. Tenemos una campaña permanente para recordarles quiénes son las personas que sí les pueden dar un diagnóstico migratorio. Estos son los abogados y el personal acreditado de preferencia. Como mencionaba Javier, es muy común que nos digan, es que el notario me dijo que sí califico. Los notarios aquí en Estados Unidos no tienen la capacidad de dar un diagnóstico migratorio. Aquí está, y también lo publicamos constantemente en redes, la lista de organizaciones acreditadas en el Valle Central para que las conozcan y también en el consulado les podemos dar el contacto de abogados y organizaciones que están promoviendo servicios seguros y obviamente en beneficio de la comunidad. Una de nuestras herramientas más importantes, y de esta me gustaría que tomen nota todos, es el CIAM. El Centro de Información y Atención a Personas Mexicanas es un call center que trabaja las 24 horas del día, los 7 días de la semana, todo el año. Y está disponible para ustedes y los conecta en toda la red consular de Estados Unidos e incluso Canadá. Este número tiene área 520, es 623-7874. Y este número es importante que lo ubiquen porque nos ayuda en caso de que detengan a un familiar. En caso de que así no lo queramos, ojalá que no sea el caso, pero si resulta que un familiar fue a trabajar y ya no regresó, no supimos dónde está, muchas veces a través del CIAM, si ustedes nos proporcionan los datos correctos y completos de la persona, podemos ayudarlos a localizarlo en el sistema de ICE o si fueron arrestados por otra autoridad, ¿no? También llega a suceder que hubo una infracción y bueno, este tipo de cosas, o incluso si su familiar venía en camino a Estados Unidos y ya no tienen contacto con ese familiar, quizá iba a cruzar y perdieron contacto, los podemos apoyar desde ahí. Y como funciona en todo Estados Unidos, no importa si ustedes llaman en Fresno y su familiar iba a entrar por Arizona, este call center los conecta. Y también tiene recomendaciones de entrada a México, de los programas, tienen los calendarios de nuestras actividades y también ellos les pueden dar información para que ustedes conozcan y ejerzan sus derechos si el día de hoy no tuvieron la oportunidad de aprenderlos de memoria, ahí también se pueden consultar. Asimismo, acaba de salir esta nueva aplicación que pueden descargar en su teléfono que se llama Consulap. Es una de las formas en las que estamos utilizando la tecnología para acercarlos no solo a los servicios, sino también en situaciones de emergencia. Esta aplicación tiene varias cosas interesantes, entre ellas es que tiene un botón que es como un botón de contacto. Si ustedes lo dejan apretado unos segundos, hace una marcación directa a su contacto de emergencias. Este contacto ustedes lo designan y puede ser un familiar, puede ser su abogado mismo o incluso los puede conectar con el CIAM. Entonces, es útil tener esta aplicación, les va a pedir ingresar sus datos y toda la información que se ingrese en esta aplicación es totalmente confidencial y está protegida. Entonces, lo que ustedes pongan es para su uso personal y para que en caso de alguna situación los podamos localizar también. Esta aplicación tiene el beneficio de poderlos ubicar ahora sí que en el mapa. Y bueno, también tenemos la línea de emergencias del consulado directamente en Fresno. Esta línea trabaja también 24 horas del día, los 7 días de la semana. La manejamos en el equipo, entonces siempre hay alguien que responde. Y esta línea es para exclusivamente atención de casos, particularmente situaciones de emergencia. Emergencias son familiares desaparecidos, un familiar falleció, ¿qué hago? Detención migratoria, etcétera. Y sí, el único disclaimer aquí es que aunque tiene WhatsApp y tiene llamadas, no la utilizamos para nada que tenga que ver con citas o requisitos. Entonces solo les pedimos utilizarla cuando haya alguna situación únicamente de emergencia consular. Y también sé que ha habido mucha duda dentro de la comunidad qué hacer si ya fueron repatriados a México. En esta parte hay varias cosas importantes que mencionar y primero que nada es decirles que las personas que decidan regresar voluntariamente a México o que sean retornadas a México tienen varios programas al alcance para poder reintegrarse en México de la manera más fluida posible. Y uno de estos programas se llama México Reconoce tu Experiencia. Este programa se enfoca en tratar de colocar en la bolsa de empleo a las personas que aprendieron algún tipo de oficio o alguna habilidad aquí en Estados Unidos. Si es construcción, si es carpintería, si es cortar el pelo, si es cualquier cosa, a través de la oficina del empleo los ayudan a colocarse laboralmente y que esa habilidad pues sea apreciada y útil para ustedes al regreso. Tenemos otro programa que se llama Jóvenes Construyendo el Futuro. Este está enfocado específicamente para personas de 29 años para abajo y es un programa que también busca facilitar la implantación de estas personas en el mercado laboral. Les provee una cierta situación de entrenamiento para empujarlos a que puedan tener esta independencia tanto económica como laboral. Está también la guía Más vale estar preparado. Esta también está electrónica y es una guía que les sirve estando aquí y estando en México. Esta guía viene muy completa, son más de 100 páginas donde vienen cómo organizarse tanto sus temas financieros, de salud, cuando uno decide venir y hacer su vida en otro lugar. También tiene recursos para que ustedes sepan qué cosas tienen que prever de sus pertenencias, de sus propiedades, si dejaron alguna propiedad en México, si en algún momento quieren regresar, si quisieran llevar su automóvil en algún momento. Tiene toda una serie de requisitos y de cosas que les van a servir para regresar a México. Y finalmente está un programa que entró en vigor recientemente, que se está considerando pues quizá retorno de más personas a México. Se llama México Te Abraza. Este programa en inglés le llaman The Soft Landing y es un programa que facilita la llegada de nuestros connacionales a México, particularmente para aquellos que están un poco desconectados de la realidad actual de México, que no sea tan duro. Entonces, este programa tiene 10 centros de recepción a través de la zona fronteriza. Aquí están en el mapa, pueden ver dónde se encuentran. Y este programa pueden llegar a través, justo ahí en las garitas, preguntando por el programa México Te Abraza, los conectan con estos centros. ¿Y qué ofrecen? Bueno, ofrecen obviamente la parte de recepción, es una idea de una recepción cálida, amable y humana con nuestros migrantes en retorno, y les ofrece alojamiento temporal y alimentos, así como algunos otros servicios, entre ellos los programas de bienestar. Estos incluyen apoyos económicos, que hay también transporte terrestre para llevarlos si no se van a quedar en frontera y van a sus estados de origen, los pueden llevar. Hay otro tipo de programas para ayudarles a reingresar a México de forma ordenada y segura para ustedes. Y este tipo de programas sirve en muchas ocasiones, les digo, también para aquellas familias que deciden voluntariamente ir a México. Y finalmente es un poco de comercial, el hecho de que nos sigan en redes sociales. Muchas veces nosotros, nuestros eventos y todos los anunciamos en redes, entonces los invito a seguirnos en Facebook, en Instagram. Subimos también talleres virtuales. Muchas veces tenemos invitados desde organizaciones hasta instituciones, ¿no? Que están acompañándonos en informar a la comunidad, y todas las instituciones y organizaciones con las que trabajamos son espacio seguro para las personas. De pronto ven que está, no sé, la patrulla de caminos, ¿no? CHP está en un consulado sobre ruedas, están dando información. De pronto ven que está alguna organización como Centro de la Familia, están dando información, todo es en pro de la comunidad, y cualquier cosa, pues siempre estamos en redes muy pendientes de ustedes. Y creo que en general eso sería todo por nuestra parte.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Ahora vamos a repasar unas preguntas que acaban de llegar. So, see, I start speaking Spanish. We will now review some more questions that came in through the Zoom. So we have, will the district allow ICE to enter the school parking lots to find or arrest students or people? So this question, I want everyone to know parking lots are public spaces. However, if individuals are there to arrest any of our students, we would follow the same processes as if they were checking into our office, okay? So if we have an immigration van or an immigration truck, and we notice that, or it's reported to us, then our administration, our staff will ensure that they either leave our premise if they don't have a warrant, or that they provide the right documentation to be able to be there for that purpose, okay? So again, this is why I state the safest place for your kiddos is in our schools, because we have the staff and the personnel that will be able to support them and ensure that their rights are followed, okay? The next question that came in is directed more our community-based organization right next to me, Centro La Familia. And it states, what if I am driving and I get pulled over by ICE or DHS? As a driver, I am citizen, but perhaps the passenger may not be a citizen and may not have proper documentation. Should I voice to the officer that I am a citizen? Should I remain silent? Or should I just show my card, my red card, along with the individual that's with me? If the individual is not legally here with documentation, should they just show the card and remain silent or remain silent?
Yeah, so in those scenarios, people should exercise the right to remain silence. Again, ICE doesn't have the authority to pull people over. If they do, just stay calm, show them the card, and ask them if they're free to leave. If they think they're actually cause to stop them, remain silence, exercise your rights. Relate to folks that are going in vehicles that are undocumented. Same thing with the passengers. Again, do not carry anything with you that's whether it's a false document, a matricula, or anything that identifies you as a non-citizen. Same thing, you have the right to remain silent. If things escalate, start recording. But if they don't have a problem with us, ask them if you feel to leave. Exercise your right and go your way. If things escalate, again, start recording, remain silent, and try to contact your attorney if you, because then there might be civil violations on their way as well.
Thank you. As a reminder, Centro La Familia is located at the T Community Resource Center. So we are very fortunate in Central Unified to have that community-based organization here to support our families. We also want to encourage you to reach out to our department if you have any questions. We don't want you to be afraid. We have family outreach liaisons at each of our sites willing to help. And again, any information regarding immigration status, citizenship, all of that is confidential. We don't disclose any information to anyone. All we want is to ensure that our kids feel safe, our families feel safe in our district, okay? Also, remember, our kids' well-being matters. I understand that sometimes within our families, we just discuss information freely because it's our family. We already know that we may be experiencing concerns with immigration or citizenship. However, that does affect our kids. They become afraid. They may start isolating themselves from friends. They may not engage in sports or activities because they're afraid. We are asking you, if you know that your child is experiencing, if they are afraid, if they're experiencing social emotional needs, please do not, make sure you reach out to our office. Let our family outreach liaisons know, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that their social emotional well-being is taken care of, that we provide the services they need. Again, all of the information disclosed to us is confidential, so we just want to make sure they're taken care of. With that being said, we are now closing this meeting. I will provide one more minute for you to enter any questions you may have. However, any of the questions that came in tonight will be typed into a document and uploaded into our Central Unified website under Student and Family Services, under Immigration Concerns, okay? Thank you for being here tonight. Gracias a los que están aquí en la tarde, y vamos a tener tiempo para responder preguntas en este momento, okay? So for those of you that are here, we will now have a little bit of time to answer some questions that you may have. You guys have a good evening. Oh, one last thing. This will be uploaded into our website, Student and Family Services website, under Immigration. If you go to that website, the link is also at the bottom of the flyer to head to the website. You will be able to see this video recording that will be uploaded in multiple languages: Punjabi, Spanish, and English. Tomorrow we will be at Biola, the health center, at 8:15 in the morning. The same information will be provided. But please know that this information will be uploaded in its entirety. Tomorrow, the only department with me, a community-based organization that will be with me, will be Centro La Familia. You guys have a good evening.